Shalom, brothers and sisters. Adam here, Parable of the Vineyard. If you haven't noticed, life is a test. And I don't know about you, but I want to pass. So today, let's cover a couple things that's probably going to be on our final exam given by the Most High. Here we are at www.parableofthevineyard.com. Everything I cover today is going to be in this article form. I'll leave a link in the description box below and in a pinned comment. So let's get started. Do not criticize a man who is turning away from sin. Remember that we all deserve punishment. Let's just love each other like that. How about that? But seriously though, one gentle reminder for life we can all use is patience. Patience with life, with testing, with the promises from above, but most of all, patience with each other. Therefore, I, the prisoner of the Master, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling with which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, being diligent to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Ephesians 4, 1-3. Question here, are we truly bearing the burden for one another, seeking to build up in truth and in love? With the pure, you will show yourself pure, and with the unyielding, you will show yourself unyielding. Psalm 18:26. Do you have that forgiveness with each other, that patience, bearing each other's burdens, being just truly loving? Or are we just brash and just sharp with each other? We are Yahweh's field, his harvest, his prized possession. Are you going to recognize this when addressing or interacting with a fellow believer? Think about this, a big old open field of wheat. The farmer, he works diligently and patiently for this to finally come up and show its fruit so that he can gather it. So it is with us. We're his field. We're his harvest. And do you think this wheat is like talking trash to one another or being rude to each other? Well, obviously not. It's just wheat. I'm just saying, figuratively, we should look at each other as this field, as Yah's field. Think about this. Seeds are planted at different times and we grow in various speeds. While correction is needed from time to time, do so in love for the building up of his body, not for the tearing down. We need to refashion the way we look at each other and truly appreciate seeing another soul called out of the world, regardless of where they are in their walk and how their understanding may differ on various subjects. We should literally just appreciate each other and be like, wow, the Most High has called you out of your life, out of the life of this world, and called you into his ways just like he did with me. What a special treasure you are. If a man says, I love Elohim, in case you're new, Elohim is the Hebrew word of how we understand God. If a man says, I love Elohim, and hates his brother, he's a liar. For he that loves not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love Elohim who he has not seen? The scriptures are basically saying this is impossible. And this commandment we have from him, that he who loves Elohim loves his brother also. 1 John 4, 20-21. And this goes back to what we were saying here from Paul's words, to treat each other with humility and gentle and patience. This is the true test. While I know the Father cares about correct doctrine, I believe this is really the test. Here's just a little illustration we did a couple years ago. And we know that, like I said before, we're his harvest. We've been likened to many things, but so often as plants. We know that starts with the seed, which is the seed of the word, and it grows up into a plant and continues to mature. And so people that have been doing this for a while sometimes look at people that are in this stage or this stage and like, why aren't you, where I'm at right now? Why don't you understand things like I do? This is actually bad fruit. So this illustration is actually kind of incorrect. So someone that would be doing this would actually be bearing bad fruit. But the point is to understand that we're in different phases of our walk. And this plant should be looking here and be like, how can I help you? How can I love on you? We just need to look at each other differently. Yahweh's servant must not be quarrelsome, but be kind to all, skillful in teaching, patient when wronged, with gentleness correcting those who are in opposition. So love is correction. But how you do it is key. If perhaps Elohim may grant them repentance, leading to the knowledge of the truth, and they may come to their senses and escape from the snare of the devil, having been held captive by him to do his will. People are ensnared by the devil. But if you're just like railing on someone, do you think that's going to help? It's like, that would be, so we're called to be fishers of men, regardless of what our duty is in the body. Doesn't matter what we've been called to do. We're all called to be a light and to be fishers of men, to share the light, to show how awesome this walk is, and to encourage others to do the same. It's like, imagine a fisher, someone who's going fishing, starts like taking the fishing rod and starts smacking the water, like, why aren't you coming up to me? It's not going to work. You gotta put the bait on the hook and do it with some gentleness, right? With some craftiness, with some love. Even more so in this walk, when we're supposed to be fishers of men. It's never going to work just going around beating people over the head with the Bible, with the scriptures. Certainly you're supposed to share the scriptures, but how you do so in love. So, have you ever heard the saying, it's not what you say, but how you say it? Well, in this walk, it's both. Be careful with every word that proceeds out of your mouth, and take caution with how you approach others. It matters more than you think, and it really changes the whole situation. There's many experiments done over the years with using plants. Here, so in this scenario, they bullied this plant every day, speaking negative words to it, and every day they praised this plant. And over time, this one withered away, and this one grew, flourished. They've done it with rice. They've done it with bananas, all kinds of things. So several experiments have proven that words absolutely matter. They've used plants, trees, rice, bananas, and other living organisms to demonstrate that words can be weaponized, even unknowingly, and also words can be used for prospering. And so our words matter. Even online, typing, people still see that. I think sometimes we get desensitized by phone calls and text messages and emails and comments on social media platforms, but still, they affect you. Start your own research here if you want to learn more about these experiments. It's amazing. It's mind-boggling. Perhaps this is the ultimate test that Yah has for his people, how we treat one another. Imagine the Father waking up tens or hundreds of thousands of people back to his ways, back to his ancient path, and the first thing that they start doing is just tearing each other down. This is probably starting to get repetitive here, but really I'm trying to drive home this point that this may be part of the final exam. Maybe even some of the, you know how some questions on exams through school, some questions were weighted heavier than others. I can't speak for the Father, but I just wonder if these type of things are some of the weightier matters. Like Messiah said, you're careful to pay the tithes of mint and anise and cumin, but you have forgotten the weightier matters of the Torah: mercy and justice and faith. He said, these ought you to have done and not leave the others undone. So it's both. But he said those are the weightier matters. Admonish a friend. It may be that he has not done it. And if he has done it, that he do it no more. Admonish your friend, that it may be he has not said it. And if he has, that he speak it not again. Admonish a friend, for many times it is a slander, and believe not every tale. There is one that slips in his speech, but not from his heart. And who is he that has not offended with his tongue? Admonish your neighbor before you threaten him, and be not angry. Give place to the Torah of El Elyon. And this is the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus 19:13-17. This was included in the 1611 KJV. But this goes perfectly with the Matthew 18 process. Go to one another privately when an issue arises, not spreading it to others. Nearly every situation is squashed at step one when handled this way. Not going around and telling everyone else about what so-and-so did. If so-and-so did something wrong to you or sinned or whatever, go to them one-on-one. Go to them privately. It's time we truly care for another as we walk this narrow path simultaneously, recognizing we are in this together as one, achad, together. Many talk this talk, but so few walk it. Let's change it. Follow peace with all men and righteousness, without which no one will see Yahweh. There's no better time than now to make sincere changes in your life. Shalom and blessings to you.